Da-dum. Hello, everyone. I gotta ask Rick what happened to the one that had the little sound on the end because I don't know where it went. Hey, everyone, happy Tuesday. Welcome to Two Dogs Digs Live Hall Pass. Today, we're doing our monthly recap of what sold. Yes, things actually did sell on eBay in this past month. Surprisingly, not necessarily a lot, but things did sell, as well as some other platforms as well. And of course, to talk about this, we have our partner in crime, who's our brother from another mother, a reseller from another mother, who's just down the province from us, Carl. Hey, Carl.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Thank you again for popping in for the monthly recap. So how has your month been? The month of April. Did April come in with, what is it? April flowers bring May shower. Well, it's raining here, so they bring the showers, that's for sure.
Well, the tradition has continued. Sales have not been the best.
Not been the best?
Oh, my number of listings is up. And you know how to do that? Just list a crap load of postcards.
Oh. So you did that again. You spent more time this month doing postcards again.
I'm up 1,256 listings, which is amazing for me. But I would say about 400 to 500 of those are cheap postcards, which I don't recommend doing.
Are you selling the postcards?
Sorry?
Are you selling postcards?
Yeah, I sell them. Like, they're very, very slow. And you're not going to get a lot of money. Most of mine are listed for... was my audio off?
No.
That's not good.
I hear you. That's just
the worst thing is I just changed cameras, too, so...
Dawn is the only one saying you're muffled.
Well, maybe it's better that way.
Well, maybe it's because she doesn't want to hear how many postcards you've got listed because she doesn't have as many as you.
Anywho, if anyone else, I might be able to switch something quick if it is muffled.
Sounds fine to Lisa.
Yeah. Anyways, postcards generally are very slow, and it's like most of them are for $5 American plus shipping. So it's just.
Yeah, but again, we always say it's like, even if it's little things, if they're little things and they cost you pennies and they're easy to list and they don't take time, that's when you and I both agree. That's fine to do $5 and $10 sales. It's when you have something that takes 20 minutes to list, 18 photographs, and then you paid $5 for it and you're trying to sell it for $8. That's when it's getting to be, you got to look at your time. But as you said, they're easy to scan, easy to put in. So, well, at least you're doing something. You got something and you're popping more things in there. Slow craft.
It takes me literally 2 minutes to list a postcard because I can see the times on my listings.
Oh, right.
I see how long it takes. 2 minutes. So someone else said it's muffled. So while you're talking, maybe I'll try and fix it.
Okay, I'll say a big hello to everybody here. Thanks again for joining us here. So Carl was first in, which is good because he had to be here. So. Hey, Lisa, Janet, Tina, Emily. Again, Emily has started on Whatnot. She's doing her second show coming up this Friday. Sewing Patterns, I think. Joel, who hasn't started on Whatnot yet, but has just moved, so he might start on Whatnot very soon. Diana, who needs to get on Whatnot because her garage is absolutely full. Am I talking about Whatnot a lot? Yeah, I am. Andrew, Jethro. Hey, Jethro. Sherry has been on Whatnot, but I don't know if she's actually been up lately. Dawn, who I can't convince to get on Whatnot no matter what. Heather, who doesn't want to go on Whatnot. Nellie, who isn't sure. Slow Crafter, hey. Tamara. Let's see who else we got here. Jiminy Flip It, number 2.
Hey, Marty, how's it going?
I guess you know who Jiminy Flip It is.
Yes, he does advertising postcards and he does live.
Another postcard person.
Yeah.
I thank you, Jiminy, for joining us while Popeye's Postcards is actually live on Whatnot. Because it's like, for postcard people, that's like, then there's it's like, that's where it is. Let's see. Carl, are you taking photos of the postcards? Are you using a scanner or document scanner?
I invested in an Epson scanner, and it takes a photo of both sides and just pumps them through. I think you could do it with a phone, but it'd be really slow.
Joel already did one. Sorry, I forgot about that. We'll get back in. Jethro is just shopping on. Oh, there we go. Look who's joining us.
Yeah, you're right.
And you're a little close, Rick.
Am I?
Just a little.
What?
Showing off your new haircut.
Yeah. Let me see what I can do
Yeah,
here.
let's see. Pop you out for a second there.
Do I still sound muffled? Because I am actually on a new camera today, and this is my testing of it. So,
Oh, okay.
testing it live. I didn't think of.
I don't think it sounds that muffled to me. It sounds a tiny little echoey, but I still hear you. I can still hear you very clear. It's a very clear picture of your bins and bins of stuff behind you.
I know. I just set it up 5 minutes before the show. I was like, good enough.
You normally don't let us see all of those bins.
Oh, it's not that interesting. Yeah, actually, all that stuff is waiting to be lotted up in lots. So I have a little book here, and I know what's in each of those bins. So, for example, if I got like Skylanders, I know that they're in that bin. I don't have to look, rather than just randomly storing stuff.
And thank you for making the supreme sacrifice. Hey, Kevin. So we're here to talk about like how. Oh, Sherry hasn't been back on yet, but aiming for a pop-up. How things are going sales-wise. So, Carl, you said, I took a look at our sales. I'm actually very surprised. Our sales are only 4% lower this year than they were for last year in April. It wasn't a good April last year either, but and for us, our numbers are around, we're only doing about 500 or so a week. So that's low for us. We normally easily hit like closer to the grand or at least, but yeah, we're only like in the 500 a week mark, which I guess is higher than a lot of people, but still that's low for us, but it's on par. We are lower by 30% lower than we were in March. And I honestly don't know what, if anything, is the cause of that. I'll add him back in. I don't know. Like it's really one of those things that no one seems to be able to answer. There are some challenges with people doing searches in eBay right now. Yeah. There are some people talking about listings not showing up. But it's all one of those things that everything looks and sounds strange, but there's nothing that correlates to something. Because I saw one person who posted all of their sales in the past week and a half. They never sold a thing to Australia and sold 7 things to Australia and not a thing in the States. And they're in the States. And they're like, what happened? It's like, well, I don't know. Like, I didn't all of a sudden start selling things to Australia. It's not like that example is something other people can all go, yes, all of us are only being shown in Australia now.
It's so hard to tell, but I've heard it from enough people now. It's above the normal level. People are always complaining. It's much higher. And I'm not sure if it's people doing their taxes or just maybe the economy's changed a little bit. One big thing is I think there's a lot more people doing this, so it's harder to get the quality stuff.
Well, my perspective is that it's partly the economy and partly basically we're coming out of COVID and a lot more people are spending more time and money on things outside the house.
Well, they better stop it.
There are also tons of collectors who are offloading their collections. But so the people that used to buy things a couple years ago now don't have the money and are looking to get money back for selling their collections.
I can sort of agree with that, Rick, except for the fact that you and I know that we've sold almost $2,000 in the past 7 days on Whatnot.
To younger collectors who aren't facing retirement.
No, we've sold vintage Barbies. We've sold $2,000 in 7 days in 4 shows. Like this is how strong there is a market out there. And we're watching other people's sales. We're watching vintage decor sales go through the roof on things on Whatnot. This is an eBay issue. And I've actually heard on Etsy it's a little bit of an issue too. That it seems to be really the pressure seems to have gone on to the buyers. But Whatnot, which is supposedly a seller's platform with not enough buyers on it, we seem to be doing, again, quite well on there. So we're sticking with that as our primary, and that's actually slowed us down from relisting stuff on eBay. So we're down below 700 again, but we have sold some stuff. Even today, out of the blue, sold 2 things for almost $200. That was like, that's more than my last week's payment. Like, yeah. So it's just one of those challenges. Now, the one thing Sherry says, the only eBay items sold came off offers. Yeah, and I actually have to send offers again, but I'm not going to because we're going on vacation, so I can't really send offers. And I got to turn my store off now for the next little while. And Rick, you got to remind me to do that a little later. I'm going to show people how to do it.
When you hear by the
Debbie Downer, you're being a Debbie Downer.
When you hear by the seaside, that's with your clue or cue to go in and set up your time away.
What?
When you hear by the seaside.
Okay, you're going to sing to me? I don't understand.
Maybe.
Now, one thing that could be beneficial, at least if you are selling, is something that I'm not as familiar with because we set ourselves up as a US-based seller. But if you are a Canadian-based seller, we have seen just in this past week that eBay has finally got some updated Canada Post rates that are actually not making that thing open the way I want it to. Open that image in a new tab, see what happens there. There we go. Is getting there. So they've gotten to level 4 discounts when they used to be at level 1 discounts, which is something that I know we've been trying to bug them about, even though we don't use Canada Post. But if you are a Canada Post person, who most eBay Canada people sell that way, if they can't access a cross-border shipper, you are actually seeing some really big discounts that are starting to show up. And I think, Carl, you said it's even better in some cases than Shippo.
Yeah, well, Shippo's the same, but you don't have to build up to your level 4, which I never ever got to. I got to level 3. This is level 4 right away. And someone was saying it's even better than Shippo level 4, but I don't know that for sure. But this is really great because it's going to bring down costs for so many people who don't have access or don't want to use.
Well, look at that. A baseball hat to the US for $8. That is like unheard of compared to what the rates normally used to be. So it's really good to see that they've actually done that, and them as well. And maybe it's Canada Post or maybe they're working harder. And now Etsy actually had the same thing happen this week too. They are going to offer better rates for Etsy sellers in using Canada Post going to the US from Canada. So that was starting April 24th. So you need to register for the Solutions with Canada and connect it to your Etsy account. So that's the one thing that you will have to do there. And discounted rates will apply, and most should apply for them. So Canada Post can't count these towards your savings level. So they're not counting, but they've at least got a link for you to actually do that with. So again, it's at least something beneficial to Canadian sellers to some degree. Hopefully it'll help people maybe with their sales, because if they can look at that and get used to it as a Canadian seller, start thinking about adjusting your shipping rate.
Yeah, there is a point here, Craigie. It was $8 US, so around 11 Canadian. Still, that's much cheaper than typical US to Canada or Canada rates.
My main point, though, from that is that if you are up there and you've been doing $15 as your minimum shipping, even as a flat rate, it's time for you to take a look and maybe adjust it down to 12. So look at a couple of items you've got in there, see if you can get an idea of if you're doing flat rate shipping to get a better way of pushing it in. So again, it's something really, I think, interesting for a lot of people, and it may help people with some sales. Hopefully with the summer coming up. I know it's sourcing time for the summer, and I know with us, one of the sourcing things, and that's what we're doing. We're going on a sourcing trip, so we're going to be unloading our minivan from everything in it, and we're going to be taking an empty van down by the river, and we're going to be shopping in both garage sales, flea markets. We've got an auction house that's got one. We've seen some estate sales that look like they're really good coming up this weekend. And then we're on our way to Brimfield, Massachusetts. Now, I'm going to show you just a little bit, in case no one's ever been or heard us talk about Brimfield. I just want to show you. Brimfield, Massachusetts is this flea market that comes up 3 times a year, May, July, and September. And what it does is it takes over this little town. And I'm going to see if I can pop this a little bit bigger here. So in this town, well, here's a map of the town, so you can see here. So in this town, this is the center here. This is Brimfield. Maybe I'll do this so you can make it a little bit. This is Brimfield right in the center here. It's a little town that there's only one way in and one way out. It's like it's difficult to get to. But in this town, what ends up happening is 3 times a year, all these farmers' fields get taken over. And in these farmer fields, they actually end up putting in a ton of vendors. And to give you an idea, this is the first field that is actually coming up for us on Tuesday. It's a place called Dealer's Choice. It opens on Tuesday only, and there's 450 spots that open for that one day. At 11 o'clock in the morning, you run in right here where it says field. You run into here along with 500 other people. And then you run up and down the line.
Oh, God.
To try and see if you can find stuff that's interesting.
I do not run.
Rick doesn't run. Well, we don't really run as much as we used to. but we still do run. And the way that it actually works is each one of the shows is on, like the shows start on different days. So the way that the actual schedule works, I'm trying to get to something that lets me show you again because it's not there. The way that it actually works is, let's see if I can get this to go a little bit bigger. That's about, there we go. That's about
I think you can open the little brochure as a PDF on its own.
I was trying, but so here's the little thing. So this is the map, and you can see these little green dots. If you go to brimfield.com, you'll actually see a Brimfield antique flea market. And the way that it works is you park in one place, and this is a good, I don't know, we have to measure it this time. Like how long it is to go from the town hall down to Dealer's Choice, because we walk that back and forth and back. Oh, I will film it, but I don't squeal. I just like, and we bought a cart. Rick made me buy a cart last year. So it's just a fun show. Every day is like a different place opens at different times.
It's like a melody.
Huh?
Every day is like a melody.
Well, no, so like there's a bunch of fields that are open during the whole week from Tuesday all the way through to Sunday. But there's one field that opens at 11 on Tuesday. One that opens at 7 on Tuesday. One that opens at 5 in the morning on Wednesday, 9 in the morning on Wednesday, noon on Wednesday. And like, so literally you line up to go into these fields and they open, and then you get that field done, next field, and then next field. And they're all new vendors in most of the fields. And then on Thursday, which is the really fun day, it is called Maze, and it's the other fields. When they open, they set up the way normal fields would be. So like everybody's set up, and the other dealers are shopping at them, right? Like, like pre-show dealers are shopping. Mm-hmm. Well, the Thursday is the biggest thing. It's called Maze, and you're not allowed to even open as a seller. You can't even open the trunk of your car until 9 a.m. the minute the actual doors open for people. So you are opening your trunk and unpacking as hundreds and hundreds of people are
like Black Friday used to be. It was like old Black Friday before they got rid of it.
It kind of is like that. And the thing is though, like you get to people. We got in there last year at like 9:30 because we didn't rush in, and there were people who still hadn't finished putting their tent up, and so because you can't do a thing. So it's fun. We have found some neat stuff at it. In fact, and this will lead me into one of the things I was talking about. One of the things we found last year, we finally decided to list and sell because we had it for a while. We went to this one place and we got this at Maze, walking around, and somebody had these, I've talked about them a little bit before, these 6 watercolors that we picked up. And the watercolors were from somebody who had done them that looked kind of like the kind of watercolor you'd see in a deli in New York City, like for Broadway, but they're movie based. So this actually happens to be Lucille Ball in Mame. So
yeah, it's actually reverse painted on the back of the glass.
It's reverse painted on glass.
And some of the backgrounds were painted.
There's her hands. And then they're signed by somebody named BAR. We could not find this anywhere. Anywhere. Well, we had Maine and we had Richard Burton and Elizabeth Taylor in Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. And I thought these were really cool. When we bought them, we actually paid $120 for 6 of these. And I thought that was pretty good. Well, it turns out it was pretty good. We popped them up finally and sold for on auction, sold for $95 to one person. And the Lucy one sold for $95 to somebody called Look for Lucy. They're a huge fan of Lucille Ball.
That's funny.
We still have two Barbara Streisand ones. We've got a George Burns one. We've got I think it's a Liza Minnelli one too, that are going to be going up. But we wanted to test these first, and they just put them all together. Now, why would somebody put a vendor going through Maze? Because it is the most popular show of the entire thing, because everybody gets to shop like a real shopper. So people drive from Boston for Thursday show. Like that, it is sort of it isn't the launch, but it's the true launch of the weekend, because it runs through till Sunday.
And a lot of the dealers do hold some of their better stuff for the Maze field, so that it's worth their while when they're unboxing things for someone to grab it at the exorbitant price they've put on it.
Because they're so desperate, because it's such I just opened a box and put something
It does ramp up the, oh my God, it's there right now. I've got to buy it. I don't care what I have to pay.
We have found some amazing stuff at Maze, though. I will say, like years ago, we bought a ton, like 2 or 3 tubs of 1970s t-shirt transfers in their original packages. And we bought that for, I think it was probably in the neighborhood of $50 a tub. And we were selling the transfers for $15 to $20 each. And we had probably 500 plus transfers in those tubs.
We still have 100.
We still have about 100 of them downstairs, because I keep forgetting about them. So you can still find really great stuff at that. But the challenge is, as I said, there's one road in to each way. On Tuesday and Wednesday, it takes 15 minutes to get from sort of the highway into here. On Thursday, we found this out the hard way about 10 years ago, because we've been going for 10 years. 2.5 hours just to get in. We left our hotel to get to Maze for 9. We left our hotel at 8, thinking it'll be 15 minutes. 10:30 in the morning, we actually ended up pulling up. It was literally 2 miles an hour, because there's only one road.
Oh my God. Well, they know what they're doing.
And the back roads don't intersect.
No, they don't line up.
Like,
we did find a secret way, but we're not telling anybody about. We're not telling anybody about our secret way. That's not. That's off the table. People can figure out their own secret ways. It took us a long time to figure that way out. So that's what we did. Again, we found something. We sold it. This was sold in April. So I thought we'll start off with something like that for what sold in April. Let me just pop into the first thing for Carl that sold in April, which is kind of, I don't know if I tried to tie Carl's and mine in together. Didn't really work that well. So this is something that I think it kind of ties in, because they're kind of ritzy, and so is Ralph Lauren.
Right. So I want to show this one because this is perfume, and ironically, you can only ship this to United States. If you, although this is my camera, nice shot. My face. You can see my face in the reflection.
Carl's camera.
Well, they were happy. They gave me a good review. So anyways, this is my first time shipping perfume. This was in my death pile forever. And I could ship it with chit chats, because I could select ground. Because you can't send perfume through the air, but you can send it.
That's always been a thing I thought is so weird. I've actually tried to ask the people at like Chit Chats and things like that, cross-border shippers, and even Air Canada. I went, okay, so you're not allowed to ship any perfume via air. No. So I'm allowed to get on a plane and buy duty-free perfume at the airport and bring it onto the plane with me. Yes. I'm allowed to put perfume in my luggage and take it in and put it on the plane with me. Yes. You cannot put a box that has the same perfume in that same plane. No. I'm like,
yeah, no,
Well, mail is more flammable than you are, Craig.
Huh?
Mail might be more flammable than you.
Not much is much more flaming than I can be. But again, that's just it. Sherry, alcohol's flammable too. Yeah, it's like why they let those certain things on, I will never know. So
yeah, you have to be careful with lithium batteries too.
Yeah,
those grounds. Yeah, like they come with digital.
I think it also has to do with the fact that if you're going by air, there's a difference in the air pressure from ground level to being 20,000 feet up.
Oh,
and if a bottle isn't sealed, it could actually lead to perfume spewing out of the bottle.
Yeah, they probably don't pressurize the.
They don't pressurize the cargo holds.
No, that's true. But it's still, to me, it's a weird sort of thing. And actually, I think eBay's even done some restrictions lately too about what you can even sell on perfume side of things. So it's good you sold this, and you sold it for $50.
Yeah, it's used. So, and
then where did you find this one, Carl?
I got this off I think it was like the Mission auction or something like that. And I got a whole bunch of perfume, and I don't know how much I paid, like not more than $1 for that. But I had a fear of doing the perfume. When I packed this, I wrapped it in plastic over and over and over again, and then put bubble wrap around it, and I made sure it had lots of it would not break.
Oh, okay.
There was no chance of it breaking. And if it did break, it was in plastic. Who knows what would happen? But
well, speaking of perfume, you didn't only sell something that smelled nice. You sold something stinky.
Yeah, this cracked me up. Like, you know what a good product name is? Stinky.
A stinky footboard.
Yeah. I got this at a thrift store. I only paid $10 for it. And it's one of my, my point with showing this is it's quite large, and I don't like shipping large stuff.
Okay, so the non-gamer, me, and maybe some people in the chat, what the heck is this?
I don't know. And like a lot of things I don't know. I know it works. So basically it does 4 controls. So left, right, up, and down on each of the axes.
For your foot.
For your foot. And there weren't a lot of comps. But it works. It's just like a big keyboard, really.
And you sold it for $180.
Wow.
Yeah. So for big things, if it's worth a lot, okay. I'll do those. So, and there was, like I said, there were not only one comp. So I took a chance on that one and went, well, for $10, I'm willing to take the chance, because the previous one had sold for 150 American.
So you found the one sold at 150 that made you go, okay, this is
And there were no offered, so I like to up it what I'm trying to get if there's no competition, just to see if someone's being desperate. And it's like I guess so.
Well, the Wii one is actually wireless. That looked like it had cables to plug into the gaming system. Did it give you a list of the games it was compatible with?
I didn't. I just made sure it worked. That's all I did. Like I don't do a lot of research. I'm bad at that, I must admit.
You played footsie with the game? What?
I did, yeah. And there's actually, if you ever need to test keyboards, there's a great website where it will make a loud clicking noise for every key. And so on the website, you can plug in your whatever keyboard, like this one here I have in front of me, which is a $300 keyboard, believe it or not. And the only reason I have it was to return blah, blah, blah. Anyways, when I get keyboards, it's good for testing. So if you ever need to test a keyboard as an aside, there's good websites out there that you can use to quickly test keyboards.
Sandy was asking, did you list the perfume on eBay or another platform?
eBay. I priced it low too because I wanted it not sitting on there very long. But I have other perfume on there, so I agree. They had some funky rules with perfume. It's not consistent, but I'm not too uncomfortable with it. It's not like it's something illegal or questionable questionable. So take your own risks. But for that kind of money, I was like, okay, I think I priced it below market for the perfume.
You'll buy something stinky whether it's a nice stinky or a foot stinky. And I buy something that hope it isn't stinky, and I manage to sell it, which is underwear.
Nice.
The one thing I linked to when I saw stinky. This is, and people know we've actually found these before. These are brand new, old stock men's Fruit of the Loom underwear, and these are made in Canada, but you can recognize the Fruit of the Loom label. And these aren't prison underwear, Dawn. No, we still have some of the prison underwear as well. These are just regular underwear. It is one of the things that you look for with this is to make sure that it's still, if you can, it's got all the folds. So we found them in packages that are torn. We found them, again, brand new, just hanging there. But you can see that they are unused, completely unused. We do not sell used underwear. And we have sold many pairs of this. And again, we got this, sold it for $12. We probably paid less than $1 for every one of the ones we got. And that's what we ended up selling that. So, Rick, now you're trying to remind me right in the middle of me talking. Like that's.
I was waiting for you to notice it. I didn't.
Yeah.
So
we actually have 5 of these, more of these that got listed. We sold 1. So, and the nice thing is about something like that, surprisingly, is when you sell something like that, there's a tendency for you to end up with a repeat buyer, because what they'll do is they'll buy one. We had this happen with prison underwear and other old Fruit of the Loom. They'll buy 1 or buy 2, and then they'll come back and buy like 4 or 5 more. So you usually end up getting a quantity sold as a repeat buyer.
Surprisingly, once they sell, they are a continuous seller. It's almost like a bread and butter item. So
now, before I go and do that, because this is something Carl sent me a list of the stuff that he sold. And Carl, you have a killer sale that I would think, and I just got to wonder, was this a baggy wall? You know what I'm going to be talking about. Carl sold Madonna.
Exactly, Madonna, yes.
So weird looking Madonna.
Yep, she's Madonna. She's called the Blank. She's from Dick Tracy line, which is absolutely worthless in terms of figures. But this is the exception. And this was a baggy wall haul. And that day I got so many 80s toys, and I almost put this back. Because I already knew Dick Tracy had no value. But I was being surrounded by 1,000 other thrifters who look just like me. And so I was like, I'm taking it all. I'll sort it out later. I took a gamble on it.
And I don't know what you sold it for, but everybody, let's take a look at what it was listed at. 5.
What?
Yeah. So I got 520. I took an offer for 525.
Is there a piece of Madonna inside it?
Yeah, there's some blood. Yeah, one speck of the blood in the back. No, it was. I don't know why. It's just they must have had these pulled for some reason. I don't know. So this
Madonna, I don't know if Madonna was very impressed with what she looked like.
No, maybe that was the issue. But
looks like Mrs. Hathaway from the Beverly Hillbillies.
I've never heard. This was just a fluke. This was not on purpose. This was just, once in a while you get a home run without even meaning to do so. And that was kind of nice. But let me put it this way. My friend who does toys, he sells toys, he knew exactly what I was talking about. And Craig, you knew exactly what it was. So there's knowledge out there. And sometimes it's just being in the right place at the right time. I got this on a Monday, holiday Monday. And I was just lucky.
And then let me just show people, because this is the other thing, is you would think that this is not even what most people would look for, because the Blank is a character who actually doesn't have a face. So this is the character outside of him, but this is what the actual thing looks like. So Carl's, yours wasn't even complete.
No. If you had it complete, if you had it still sealed, I think it's like $1,500, $1,600 US. It's crazy.
This is it. Like that, it's supposed to have no face at all.
Yeah.
So if you want to find more out about it, just take a look at the Blank. This is the character himself, and you can see what they look like. But there it is with the hat, the gun, and the way it is here. And here's actually somebody who looks like they've told the story here. Promo tie-ins, and there's the blank. So
4 inches, yeah.
Again, it's just surprising because Carl has got it without the hat, without the face, without the gun, and he still got $500. So that is a gigantic.
It's nice to find something once in a while. You never know. I'm still jealous with those dolls you found these cutesy ones.
Well, again, sometimes you find stuff, and again, last time I think we showed this in one of our shows in the past. We did find something, and I always like showing something that we found, so people go, "Oh, you found that? Did you sell it?" Yes, we did. Here is something that we found and sold. You remember we actually found the set of the Chippendale Rescue Rangers, and it was the double size flat fitted sheet and 2 pillowcases, and it was on an end dial for $7.99 or $9.99.
$7.99.
It actually had paint stains on it. Remember, we showed you this big paint stain, and we left the paint stain on. We didn't try and get it out of there, and it sold in less than a month from when we put it up. We listed it at an auction, didn't get any bids. Decided we'll pop it from the auction up, and we put it up to $95, and we actually sold it just this past weekend, just on the 29th of April, and it sold for an offer on $75. So on that one alone, that's a $60 sale, like profit on a thing you might just walk by when you're looking at things, because you're like, oh, it's just some pillowcases or things like that. So even the pillowcases on their own can sell for good money on their own. So there's the actual sheet itself. So it's just one of the things that, again, we like to show you. We put something, we talk about it, we show it to you, and then you go, oh, did you sell it? It's like, I was talking before about something that was folded, though, right? I said that men's underwear. Here's something else we found. This was actually bought at a estate sale, I think. And it was $2, but it was all folded up, and it was a t-shirt. And I thought, this is an old t-shirt. It still has its folds in it. I'm certainly going to spend $2 on an old t-shirt with its folds in it. Why? Because it's a Mickey Mouse Disney World t-shirt. So you can actually see the creases in this. And there's Mickey. You can see, this is how it was set. So this is right out of the baggie or right out of the shelf. Somebody bought it when they were at Disney, and I guess just brought it home. Walt Disney Productions. So pre-1986. There's the tag, made in USA. Made in USA by a company called Tropics Togs. So again, this is the kind of thing, when you are looking for older t-shirts, a couple of things that are worth looking at this. It is called a ringer t-shirt. So the neck is one color and the sleeves are a color. So it's called a ringer. So the two things that make this as a good thing to look for is, one is a ringer, and two is made in the USA, and then a company like Tropic Togs. I couldn't find this anywhere. I actually did see sold adult size. This is like a youth small. This isn't a big t-shirt.
It was a very tall or long t-shirt, though.
It's long, but it's very narrow. So we thought, what do we do with this? Tried it and just thought, you know what, I'm going to try it on auction. And we auctioned it starting at $95, and we got a bid right on the last day on that. So again, this was a $2 t-shirt that we got at an estate sale. Yeah. Even though it was Disney, I think people looked at it and went, that's an old t-shirt. Who wants an old t-shirt? No, it's not a nightshirt. It really is a tee. It just happens to be, I don't know if I got it just happens to be long and thin, but that's the best picture we got of it there. Like, it's a little long, but
I didn't want to put it on a mannequin because it would have taken the folds out.
I know it is crazy. It didn't go to Japan though, did it, Rick?
Yes, it did.
Oh, it did go to Japan. That's right. This actually went to Japan. Very good call, Adrian. So yeah, sometimes that's where they end up going. So it's probably going to go there with somebody who's got sells a lot of vintage, and it'll probably sell for a lot of money over there, like a few $100s. Now, something else that is an iconic thing is something Carl sold, which is
Oh yeah, yep. McDonald's play food, and I showed this because I think last time I was on the show you were talking about it.
Yep, we've sold McDonald's play food before.
Yeah, and so I listed it, and they actually bought. I had 2 different lots, and they bought both lots. And yeah, if you see McDonald's play food's cheap enough, definitely list it.
Was this like in a baggy wall? Because
yeah, it was
like
a baggy wall. It was
inside this little, like, these aren't that big, are they?
No, but I don't think they went with that package. If you can complete that package at the back, it's worth good money too. But I was like, I'm not going to count. So I got 54 for that, and another 40 something for the other lot. So 12.90 American. And you know,
Angela's asking, do we wash clothing or clothing items before we sell as is? 90% of the time we sell as is. We might steam it if it's, but we try not to purchase clothing that needs washing. We do not dry clean or anything like that because there's too much of an investment into something like that.
We do have an ozone machine that we have not yet set up, though.
Yeah, we do. Sometimes we'll throw sheets into the washer, sort of thing, but with most clothing, nope. We just steam it and sell it as is.
Yeah,
I might spray it with vodka if it has a little bit of a musk odor to it.
And let me see. So that was that. And so you did good on that. And I don't have anything that's food oriented, but I do have something that's just a weird older thing. I don't even remember where I bought this. This is something I had for years. I actually had it on my desk at work way back in the 90s. And it's a little box. And when you press the box, it used to just shake and yell, "Let me out of here." That's it. It did nothing other than shake and yell, "Let me out of here." And I had one out of the box, and I had 2 of them in the box. I think I actually might have even bought it at KB Toys. There's a price tag 2 for $5 in the top corner. I might have actually done that and bought it at a KB Toys. And this, when I sold one of them before, about 5 years ago for $75. And then I found this one. The only problem was 5 years ago, the battery worked. Now I have a sealed one and the battery didn't work. So the challenge is, I know it worked, but I got to sell it that doesn't work and needs new batteries.
And I hope that it doesn't corrode.
We ended up selling it. Still got $28.88 for it. So it's an old thing I had around the house for $28.88, just like this below. It's another old thing I have around the house. Even though I'm older than him, but still. Oh, Julie remembers KB Toys. I miss KB Toys too. Yes. Spraying with vodka is a thing.
Yes. Spraying.
I'm just going to leave it at that. You're just going to say yes.
It's an old theater thing. It's an old theater thing. When I used to be involved in theater in high school, and one of the things that our drama teacher would do with the stinky costumes after performances would be to spray them with vodka to eliminate any of the biological odors. It worked well. And I think she might have nipped a little from the bottle after the shows anyway. But
drinking vodka is a better. You can also mix with vodka, put a Ziploc in the freezer. Well, one of the things that Rick wanted to remind me of, and I just wanted to show you guys, was because we are going on time away. Not sure if you're familiar with time away or not. If you are in eBay and you're going away for a little bit of time, then I want you to need to think about putting your store on time away. And so I'm going to show you right now. I'm going to take a quick break into this and show you what you do. So you go to your seller hub on eBay, and right down here on the selling tools page, you'll see a thing at the bottom of here that says time away. It's so easy to do. You just click on that and then schedule your time away. So I'm going to edit my time away right in here. I'm going to make this a little bigger so people can see it. You can pause the sales, or you can also allow sales. So we have a tendency to still allow the sales because it tells the person, hey, I'm not back until this date. We're going to start the date that we started, and that's actually going to be today. And we're going to start it at 9 p.m. tonight, so midnight. And we're going to end it. We expect to be back. We usually take the time away off the day or two before we come back. So we're expecting to be back on the 13th. So we'll take the time away off on the 11th. And then we allow those sales. You can actually stop the sales altogether. What we have a tendency to do, and then you apply. And that's it. So what's going to happen now is if somebody looks, I can even put a message in here saying we are temporarily unavailable to ship. Feel free to purchase. We'll be shipping orders on. And in this case, it would be Tuesday, May. What's the date, Rick?
Let me look.
I got my start date. So it'll be Tuesday, May 16th.
16th.
So I'm going to put that in.
I'm so helpful, aren't I?
And that's the automatic response that somebody will get as well. So it's on there. It's been applied. And now if somebody goes to look at one of our items, they will actually see our item, and the estimated delivery time is going to add that. It's going to start our 3 days. The time is, yes. So it's eBay's time zone. Yeah. So I put 9 p.m. for midnight our time. So when we set it up, if somebody goes on to at 9 o'clock, they'll still be able to buy something. Or 8.
The estimated delivery date.
And the estimated delivery time is going to show 3 days away plus the shipping time. Whereas if they buy something after 9 p.m. East Pacific time tonight, it's going to show 3 days plus 15 days. So it may stop people from shopping, but we usually find we do sell 3 or 4 or 5 things when we're gone for a week. You can do it if you're gone for a weekend. If you're gone for 3 or 4 days, you're just afraid if you don't want people to wait and you're gone on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So think about just adding that time away in. There is a vacation mode that you can do, I believe, on Etsy. I'm just not sure how to do it. I got to look that up later on tonight. And there's also a vacation mode, if I'm understanding correctly, on Whatnot as well now, because with Whatnot, if you have things in your Buy It Now section, they become part of the marketplace, because Whatnot has now got a eBay-style marketplace for people to actually shop for things. So it's not well done yet, but to give you an idea of what it can look like, I am just going to see if I can find my link for Whatnot. And there we go. And if I happen to go into Whatnot, which again is a great place to shop, and you are looking up an item. So let me just decide here. I want to look up Monster High. So if I go into the Monster High side of things, you can see right here, there's 210 items. These are items that people have put in to buy. So you can go in right now and buy that from somebody without even thinking. And so it doesn't have to be during a live show. It's just a little messy when you get into some of the other areas, especially if you're looking at things that may have 2,000 or 3,000. They don't sort them well. The search is still a little bit I think this might even be our Brain Puffs.
Yeah, that is.
So there you go. So there's a 2 Dogs Dig thing. Somebody can go in today and actually buy that, and it's challenging because you also don't get notices that well, but there should be a time away on that as well. So make sure you think about that when you are going away, is making sure your buyers aren't going to go and get mad at you. What we also do is if we see a sale that happens while we're gone, we send a message to that buyer, because we're not off our phone. So we still get told we've sold something. So we'll contact that person in eBay or Etsy or wherever and say, hey, just to let you know, we are on vacation until this date. Hope that's still okay for you. I have never had one person cancel, have we, Rick, that we've connected with? Everybody said, no problem. But if they did say, oh, I didn't want to wait that long, it's for a wedding this weekend, whatever, then you can do a cancellation right then and there. So it's that easy. Let me pop in. There was a couple of other things that Carl ended up selling. One of them was something that we've sold in the past. So I don't know if you took the hint and you found this from us, because we take hints from you as well. Yeah,
no.
Slot cars.
None of these work.
Slot car parts.
Yep, just the parts. This is also my death pile. See how it's busted. Dirt. I never clean anything. It's pretty gross. But I just like to, instead of holding on to this stuff, wondering what to do, I just listen for parts.
And it went $30 for something that you were just hanging around doing nothing.
Yeah. And instead of just like staring at it forever, I just went, well, I sometimes attempt to throw something out, because it's like, maybe not this, but other things, right? And it's like, just put it up and see what happens, and boom, it went overnight. No fingers in photos. Yeah, I don't go with that philosophy. I show my hands all the time.
Did you test the one car or no?
I did test one. The lights went on, but the engine didn't go. So either I don't understand how they work, which is a good possibility, or there's something wrong with it.
Oh, well, no, and you said only thing partially working is number 2, which has the lights working. So that's great. So a couple of questions I saw in here, which I just don't want to miss. One is Elisa said she could never figure out how to extend the shipping time temporarily on all your listings. So if you're on eBay, you have got listings there and you say, I got a 3-day handling term. So if I go to look up an item on eBay, so let me just do this right now. I'm going to go and look up. I'm going to just link from one of Carl's things right in here. So this is somebody who, huh? I'm getting to it, hon.
Okay.
I'm going to find it here, and then I'm going to put it on here. I just didn't want to be flipping all over the place. So I'm just finding a screen here. So here's somebody else's screen. So this is somebody who's got this live for $295. And what happens here is this person has got something in here, and it says down here, the delivery estimated between May 5th and May 8th. And that is based on that person having a specific handling time, 1, 2, 3, 4 days, and in using expedited shipping. So eBay is going for me to have this sent into Niagara Falls from Ohio. It will take between there and there. The minute, Elisa, that somebody puts time away, that is added to this right off the bat. They add those 5, 6, 7, 10 days. So if this person did time away like I just did, this would say estimated delivery between Friday, May 15th and Monday, May 18th. So it automatically does it for you. So that's the really good thing about having to do that. That's as Tina saying, you don't have to do it because time away does it all on its own. Yeah. Janet just sold vintage underwear during the show.
That's great. That's awesome.
Angela's Whatnot is becoming really popular. Yeah, and that's something that we always talk about because we are doing our sales there quite well. If you do go to Whatnot, the one thing that we ask you to try and do is if you've never been there before, you pop onto Whatnot, and if you want to go on and just shop, if you want to go on and shop, then all you have to do is use our link here and you get $10. We get $10, but you get $10. Did you just take my page out there?
Because we're sitting in front of it.
You took the wrong one off there.
That's all right.
You get $10 and we get $10 if you buy anything. And so I have like $23 in credit. So 18 people have signed up. 3 people have bought something. But the more important one is if you want to try selling on there and you've never tried it before, we actually split the referral link of $200 between the two of us. And in the last couple of weeks alone, we have 4 members of our YouTube channel or our craft channel who have started on Whatnot for their very first time.
And they've made their sale.
Huh?
And they've made a sale.
And they made a sale. And that is Sherry, Angelique, Neil, and somebody else. I can't remember the 4th person. The 1st person has just doing the first one. Oh, Emily. Emily just did her first one. So all 4 of those people, as soon as they do their first sale, then Whatnot, they let me know. I go to Whatnot sends me the money, and then we split it 50-50. So I think Emily is the only one that I have to still split, but I've paid out like $700-800 already to people. And we'll help you too. We'll help you, teach you with anything. We have a Whatnot video that's on our YouTube channel as well. So take a look at Whatnot, even from a shopping perspective. It's amazing if you're in the States, and great if you have access to somebody like Stallion Express, or in Alberta, DYK. Stallion is in Ontario, Montreal, and Vancouver, and DYK in Calgary and Edmonton, because they allow you to buy postage outside and use them only to drop ship. So all they're doing is dropping. Chit Chats doesn't allow that. If you only have Chit Chats in your area, you have to buy postage through them, which means that can't work. Also, if you do, though, with use Stallion or DYK, you can also list on Poshmark US and use them to drop ship as well. Do they have toy soldiers? I'm not sure, Adrian. We actually should get you on there to try and see if they've actually got.
We'll look that up offline.
Yeah, we can look that up offline. You bought a rig to hold your camera for overhead shots. You still need to talk to Two Dogs They Go Fishing. Yeah, just let us know. We'll try and help you figure out how to do anything. It's so simple. You don't have to appear on camera. And again, take a look at what other people are doing in there just to get ideas, because you can see what we've got scheduled right now is we've scheduled our shows. They're coming up for the next while. So we've got our shows coming up for the next coming live streams. We got another Monster High. We got a Strawberry Shortcake that got 33 people in it. We have 52 people with our Vinyl Nation show. We have the Pride Parade that we're going to be part of. We're really happy to be part of that for a weekend early in June. If you go to anybody that's live right now, you'll see there's 66 people watching this person in JDA Collectibles. There's all these different categories. Right now, we all know Popeye's Postcards are going to be on there. He's got 29 people on there right now who are watching him on Popeye's Postcards. He has a Tuesday night show at 8 o'clock. Franklin Hill Ventures, who's friends of ours, they have a show tomorrow on, this is their ephemera category. So you can type anything you want in there. If I do right now, toy soldiers, their category is other toys or vintage toys. There are people with various kinds of toy soldiers on there. I didn't know that. Well, see, that's just this is bad. Garfield's Odie is not a toy soldier, and neither is Garfield. And that's just it. As I say, it's a place for buyers and sellers. So if you are a seller, really think about it. And again, message us and we'll teach you everything that you need to know, hopefully, on how to do this. Strawberry Shortcake, you're in. Yay! Just bookmark us. And if you haven't shopped there, Angela, use our link and get a $10 coupon, and then use your coupon to shop from us if you want. And at least it looks like she's got toy soldiers for you, Adrian, at least to try and define or help her define what they are. So again, this is the kind of stuff that we were looking at when we were shopping and selling in the month, trying to see if there's anything else. We got your blank. Did I miss anything? I've got your
you missed a big thing.
I'm just trying to see, what did I miss? What did I miss?
Orange. It's orange and it holds cookies.
I don't have that on here.
Why don't you have that on there?
Why don't I have that on there?
I am.
What? That's disappointing because that was part of our competition. I listed my vase because you just listed that and you sold it.
Yes, I'm pulling it up now.
You better.
I'm pulling it up now,
wow.
So I will put you on the screen. You get the big position on the screen, Rick.
Okay. To give a little bit of context, Craig and I went to an estate sale, and they had 1,000 cookie jars. We wound up buying about 15 or 20 cookie jars. One of them was a McCoy jack-o'-lantern cookie jar. It cost us all of $8 or $4. I can't remember if it was a half price day. Anyways, so I was putting off listing this. I didn't want to list it because I was afraid of shipping. So Carl had a Roseville vase?
No, oh my God, now you've screwed it for me. Moorcroft.
Sorry, a Moorcroft vase that he was afraid of listing. So we had a friendly sort of wager going, who could list theirs and sell it first.
I don't remember that half. I remember the listing part.
Oh, it was the listing. Okay.
Oh, so he just added in the sell it first.
Yeah. Because he won it already.
We won. Anyway,
yeah,
so
it was great.
I did go on to the McCoy Pottery Facebook group, and I asked a ton of questions about this. The black marks at the bottom are actually grease stains from having been used to hold cookies. There are things that you can do to eliminate or reduce or remove the grease stains. I didn't want to pay $70 for a product to clean that in order to try to sell it or make it cleaner to sell it. So I decided to list it as is.
On the bottom anyways. Amazing.
Yeah. We originally listed it on auction for $275 for 10 days, and it didn't get any bids. So using the technique that Craig and I do, we put it on to buy it now, and we increased the price so that we could then consider offers at $275 and above. So I can't remember how long it was listed for the buy it now, but
about 3 weeks.
We got an offer for $275, and Craig and I chatted very quickly, and I decided to take it.
Yeah, it was actually $295, Rick. You got more than we did for the auction.
$295. Okay, that's good.
So again, just something that you finally get around.
$25 shipping.
Finally get around to listing, and it ends up being something that you can sell for good money. So Carl finds a blank and sells it for $500. Rick finally gets his pumpkin head up and sells it for $300.
And got me to put mine up.
You have yours up, right?
Yeah, I do. I put a stupid price on it, but it's up.
But it's up.
Fantastic.
And I actually put,
then you win.
And I put up the Fisher-Price amusement park, which I told people about, and we've talked about that in craft as well. And that's something that we didn't sell on eBay, but moved it to the Facebook group for amusement park, or for Fisher-Price, and I sold it for about $10 more than I would have got with eBay, because eBay I have to list it for $400 and it cost me 20% in fees. And this place I listed it for $350 and it only cost me my PayPal fee of 2.9%. Nice. So I actually ended up making about $10 more, and it's gotten to the person already. They love it. So I'm really happy. Rick did an amazing job packing it. So we've all found something in the past month or so that was a long, hard list. For the amusement park, I couldn't get Rick to find a box that would fit it in. For the cookie jar, he just was too afraid. And for Carl, it was just like the luck of grabbing something while all the other people were staring at the action figures in his basket. But we all managed to find that thing. And so again, I always say, take a look at your death piles, your profit piles. See if there's that one thing that's sitting around and you go, I know that's worth $50, or I know that might be worth $200, and pop it up there. Make that your project for the next week, is find that one item that you know has money in it that you have avoided for whatever reason. Could be clothing, could be jewelry, could be anything under the sun, but get that up and get it out. And it doesn't mean it has to go on eBay. It could go on a Facebook group again. So we're posting more things now as well in Facebook. If a platform like eBay or Etsy starts depressing itself in terms of its sales, focus your efforts to someplace that you can actually find some more money. You never know. And if you're looking at finding more money, just before we go, I'm going to do my last little thing, which is we have a thing coming up called Dealing in Dolls. And that's going to be a special only for people who are members of the Kennel Club. The Kennel Club is our YouTube channel membership. It's $2.99 a month. And with it, you get the little emojis beside that people can use on the side. You get the little banners by your name. So, and you join it so easy. You just go on to YouTube, type in Two Dogs Digs, and right there's a big join button right at the top. You just have to click on join there. $2.99 a month. You get the little loyalty badge, which you'll see beside some people's names there over there in the chat. You also have these emojis, and we also have a research deck that you can actually look at there as well. And we're going to be doing this. Where'd it go? We're going to be doing this Dealing in Dolls show coming up towards the end of May. We're doing it on a Sunday afternoon, and it's going to talk about what you should look for, what to avoid, which is another big thing, because we said like what not to waste your money on, because you're going to find these dolls this summer. It's garage sale, it's estate sale, it's flea market season. You've got an opportunity out there to find things left, right, and center. We picked up some dolls this weekend off Facebook for $50, and we flipped a pair of them already from $14. We picked up a lot of $14. We sold a pair of them for $100 US in less than 24 hours. Did it on Whatnot, but we still sold it for less than 24 hours. So we're going to help you figure out what to look for, what to avoid, and in the whole doll category. We're talking dolls from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000, 2010, what you should think about, and then what to sort of avoid at this point. That's all going to be there when we talk about that in our seminar. So hopefully you will join us here in the Kennel Club. And even today, you found things that we told you about and Carl told you about that you may not have thought about before. You may not have looked at the blank. If you saw that before in your history and you and I would have passed that up, the thing has no face. Now you're going to be like, if it has no face, I better take a damn close look at it because it could be $1,000 if it's got a no face on a hat and more if it's on card. Because you never know what you may find up. You picked up a pair of...
You didn't say Craigslist.
Hello, gorgeous.
We will be back next Tuesday, but we will be live from Brimfield, unless it's going to pour rain. That's the only thing that will change our plans.
Yeah, the weather patterns don't look good right now.
They're sort of in that, because if it rains, it means that the fields are filled with water.
Oh my God.
And we've been there once when it was like an inch of water and you're walking around in water, and it was not fun. Rick hated me for that trip. But if we are there, you'll see us down there. You'll see us posting in the craft group, the Canadian Resellers and Fantastic Thrifter group. You'll see us on TikTok and Instagram with posts as well. We will be live on the Tuesday night with our hall pass to show you what we bought on that first day or so that we've been down there, and maybe a couple of things we may have picked up in Buffalo. So hopefully you'll join us again for that. And then the week after, we're going to do a bigger full recap on what else we found on Brimfield on the Wednesday and Thursday. We may even do a Wednesday show. You never know. It all depends on what we have down there. So thank you so much for, we will take our waiters. Thanks so much for joining us, Carl, again. Thank you so much for being here and showing us things that like the blank that we would never, like, blew me away when you sent me that, but I'm so happy that you found something like that. And you had some amazing good sales this month, even though you may have not had a lot. You showed some really good finds this month that you flipped over. So
thank you.
Thanks again. And Rick, thank you for helping me and pushing the wrong buttons at times. But thank you so much for being there.
I'm very good at messing things around, aren't I?
Thank you for... Oh, my God, I'm getting dizzy. Thank you for being my whatnot partner in crime. Oh, geez.
Look at what I can do.
Watch us on whatnot, and you'll see a couple of people bitching at each other live and maybe selling something at the same time. Thanks, everybody. We hope you enjoyed it here on Tuesday night. We'll see you again soon. Well, Bad Dog, Good Dog, and the Lazy Reseller. We're out of here.